Martyr, an Elizabethan thriller, by Rory Clements. Narrated by Simon Vance. Copyright 2009 by Rory Clements. This unabridged audiobook is published by arrangement with Bantam Dell, a division of Random House, Inc., and was produced in the year 2009 by Tantor Media, Incorporated, which holds the copyright thereto. Chapter 1. Rose Downey sat on the cold cobbles, cradling a swaddled baby that was not hers. She leaned her aching back against the wall of the imposing stone house, close to its arched oak door. Under any other circumstance, nothing could have brought her near this building where baleful apprehension hung heavy in the air like the stink of tallow. But the man who lived here, Richard Topcliffe, was her last hope. She had been to the court of law, and the justice merely shook his head dismissively, and said that even had he believed her, and that, he said with a scowl, was as unlikely as apple blossom in November, there was nothing he could do for her. The constable had been no more helpful. "Mistress Downey," he said, "put the baby in a bag like a kitten and throw it in the Thames. What use is it alive? I promise you in God's name that I will not consider the killing a crime, but an act of mercy, and you shall never hear another word of the matter." Now, outside Topcliffe's house in the snow-flecked street, close by St. Margaret's churchyard in Westminster, Rose sat and waited. She had knocked at the door once already, and it had been answered by a sturdy youth with a thin beard who looked her up and down with distaste and told her to go away. She refused, and he closed the door in her face. The intense cold would have driven anyone else home to sit at the fireside wrapped in blankets, but Rose would not go until she had seen Topcliffe and begged him to help. The bitter embers of sunlight dipped behind the edifices of St. Margaret's and the Abbey, and the cold grew deeper. Rose was fair, young, no more than 17, with a face that, in other times, sparkled with smiles. She shivered uncontrollably in her heavy gowns and clutched the baby close to share what little warmth she had. Occasionally she lifted a large, well-formed breast from her garments to feed the infant. The milk was free-flowing and rich, and her need of relief was almost as insistent as the child's hunger. Steam rose from her breast in the icy winter air. The child sucked at her with ferocity, and she was thankful for it. Monstrous as she considered the baby, some instinct still made her keep it and feed it, even though it was not hers. The day moved on into darkness, but she was as immovable as stone.